Hi, everybody. I'm Mike. This is a bunch of Guns and Gear Reviews, and you are listening to The Right of the People, where we use the first to defend the second every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. So uncover your keyboards and fire up your fingers. Time to join the conversation.
Hey, everybody. I know this isn't Friday. This is, in fact, Saturday. No, you're not hallucinating. You're not having a stroke. You're working just how you're supposed to. I couldn't find my single shot intro music, so that's what this is a Right of the People single shot, where it's just you, me, and whatever stripped my trigger today. And today, what has stripped my trigger is the outright failure of gun control. Gee, what a shock in Illinois. As it turns out, well, let me back. You do smell toast, Vandalistica? Yeah, oh, maybe you should get that checked out. Anyhow, for those that aren't aware, there is a shooting in Aurora, Illinois yesterday where a fella who got fired came in and shot his workplace up, killed a few people, killed some police officers, injured a lot of people. And as it turns out, according to a piece from NBC News, he wasn't legally allowed to have the gun. So, gee, what a shock. David Bowling, how you doing, Kingpin? Thanks for stopping by on this impromptu little live chat.
Oh man, glad I can make it. Thanks for the invite.
Hey, wow, there's a face I haven't seen in a while.
It has
50 caliber Karma. How you doing, sir?
Oh man,
I just got a sticker, a 50 caliber Karma sticker from somebody the other day in the mail.
dude, that's super dope. Don't put it on the outside of a car. They do not last well in the weather.
Well, that's good to know. I have a few people out there in YouTubeville. Jay Rods, The Poor Conservative, Vandalistica, Psycho 316, Seven Wonders, Tara Smith. I don't recognize that name. Welcome. This isn't my typical live stream, but we'll go on along the same format, I would imagine. John Brown Productions, how you doing, sir? But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this. Let me go ahead and hey, Jason Stewart. Let me go ahead and read this article from NBC News. Aurora, Illinois shooter wasn't legally allowed to own gun. Police are investigating why Martin never relinquished his firearms after it was discovered he had an aggravated assault felony on his record. By Callahan Rosenblatt and Phil Helsel. Gary Montez Martin, the man who opened fire inside a manufacturing company in Aurora, Illinois, legally should not have been in possession of a firearm, police said on Saturday. On Friday, Martin, who had been an employee of the Henry Pratt Company for 15 years, opened fire at a meeting during which he was being terminated from his job, according to Aurora Police Chief Kristen Zyman. Zyman said that Martin shot at the person who was firing him and others in the meeting before moving outside the room. We believe that several people who were involved in the meeting are the ones who are deceased, Zyman said during a press conference on Saturday. Martin killed 5 people in total and injured several police officers during the rampage on Friday afternoon before being shot and killed by police. During the press conference, Zyman named the victims, who were all employees of Henry Pratt Company. Clayton Parks, the human resources manager, Trevor Wayner, a human resources intern and a student at Northern Illinois University, Russell Byer, a mold operator, Vicente Juarez, a stockroom attendant and forklift operator, and Josh Pinkard, the plant manager. Another unidentified victim was treated at a nearby hospital for non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. The injuries the police officers sustained during the shooting are all considered non-life-threatening. On Saturday, Zyman said that Martin, 45, purchased a handgun on March 6, 2014, after being issued an Illinois firearm owner's identification card in January of that year. The firearm, a Smith & Wesson .40 caliber, was in Martin's possession as of March 11, 2014. The FOID card, excuse me, the FOID card application process includes a background check, but applicants are not fingerprinted, Simon said. It was only when Martin applied for a concealed carry permit on March 16, 2014, that he was fingerprinted, and it was revealed that he had a 1995 felony conviction for aggravated assault in Mississippi. Simon said that upon the discovery of this conviction, Martin's concealed carry permit was rejected, and his FOID card was revoked. Absolutely, he was not supposed to be in possession of a firearm, Simon said. Simon said that, after officials discovered Martin's felony, a letter was sent notifying him that his FOID card had been revoked and informing him that he was required to relinquish his firearm to local authorities. She added that law enforcement is now investigating if they ever followed up with Martin. Martin also had 6 prior arrests with the Aurora Police Department, including arrests for traffic and domestic violence-related issues, according to Simon. She said his last arrest in Aurora was in 2008 for violating an order of protection. However, Simon said Martin was last arrested in 2017 by the Oswego Police Department for disorderly conduct and criminal damage to property. Scott Hall, president and CEO of Mueller Water Products, the parent company of Henry Pratt, said that Martin was being fired for a culmination of various workplace rules violations. He added that a background check was done when Martin was hired 15 years ago, and that did not turn up the Mississippi felony conviction. Martin was killed by police after a very short gunfight with officers, Aurora Police Lieutenant Rick Robertson said. There was the initial contact with the officers, and then after those shots, everything went quiet, and officers began entering the building to search for him in the large facility, he said. It appears that Martin retreated into the facility and was waiting for police. He was in a back machine shop at the very back corner of the building, farthest from the area that we made entry into the building, Robertson said. He was probably waiting for us to get to him there, is the way that it appeared, and there were some shots exchanged as the officers made their way into that area. He was basically in the back waiting for us and fired upon us, and officers fired back, he said. Hall said their thoughts are with the families of the victims and the employee who was shot and wounded, and thanked first responders. We will be reviewing every aspect of this tragedy and the steps we need to ensure this horrible incident is never repeated, he said. We are assessing if done or could do in the future. The employee who was wounded was expected to be released from the hospital Saturday, Hall said. Simon said she's not sure that Martin was aware that he was going to be fired, but we can surmise that he was speculative about what was going to happen, as evidenced by him arming himself with a firearm. That's, again, we're speculating here. Multiple spent magazines were found, she said. There was a laser on the gun. Ooh. The wounded officers are all expected to survive, Simon said, but in addition to the physical pain, there is emotional pain as well. She said the families of the victims are foremost in the department's thoughts. I know that with the lives lost, the officers are wishing they could have done more, she said. Well, there you go. Gun control utterly failed, because...
Clear, the name was Simon, right?
Ziman.
Okay, that's much less hilarious. Now I'm upset about this whole thing.
No, yeah. Simon wasn't saying.
I was totally going with the Simon says too.
But at any rate, shock, gasp, oh no, a criminal failed to obey the law and illegally acquired a FOID card, then illegally acquired a firearm, then failed to turn in the firearm when he was instructed that he had to do so by the state. Holy cow. You mean someone didn't obey the law?
Well, just wait till they start making excuses for why he was a criminal.
Yeah.
Because of what you did, Budget, because of your white privilege, suburban privilege, American hatred, and all this other kind of nonsense. We will all be the perpetrators now, and he'll become the victim.
And I've already seen articles touting the fact that, he had a laser. Come on. What the hell?
That made it thousands of times deadlier. You know who else had lasers? Stormtroopers.
Yes, they did. Of course, that's not really a good argument to bolster the deadliness of a gun because of lasers, because, stormtroopers can't hit anything.
Well, neither can you with a laser.
It does go to show that lasers are bad.
Well, and you can't hit anything with a laser until you put it on right and practice with it over and over and over again.
Now, see, I think the argument that they'll use is that, Dr. Evil wanted sharks with lasers. So, and he was Dr. Evil. So lasers bad.
Lasers are machine guns.
Yeah, yeah. Seven wonders. What do you mean? How do we start off with a question that sounds like it came mid conversation? Who is a felon? The fellow that shot the place up in Aurora yesterday. Unless you're talking about somebody else, and I just missed the entire conversation there in the chat, which is entirely possible because I was blabbing my mouth. Psycho 316 asks, who is more accurate, stormtroopers or the A-team? Ooh. I'm going to go with stormtroopers.
No, stormtroopers shot Leia that one time.
Yeah. Yeah, they hit her with the stunner. So, and as far as I know, the A-team never shot anybody. So, yeah, I'd have to go with stormtroopers.
They also hit her in the arm on the moon of Endor.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
And if you even want to take it even further, in the better movie, Spaceballs, the Queen got hit in her hair.
That's true, yeah.
They suffered the consequences for that one, though.
That's true. I think we got wildly off topic when I started talking.
Yeah, I think we did. But anyway, with the Aurora thing, it doesn't shock me a bit, that laws did nothing because criminals, by very definition of the word, don't obey them. So the only thing that, we've beat this horse into a pile of goo as far as the only people that gun laws affect are law-abiding citizens, and criminals don't give a crap about them. It's just that the evidence keeps mounting, but it'll constantly be ignored and continue to be ignored by the hoplophobes. That's what I think.
Is hoplophobe the new term? Is that a thing we're saying now?
Hoplophobes is an old term coined by Jeff Cooper for those that have an unreasoning fear of firearms.
Going back. Okay, my bad. Yeah, dude, I mean, we go over this all the time. I mean, clearly not me recently, I know. But, I mean, I don't understand how anybody can think that more gun laws would stop people from criminal activity.
Yeah. Well, and of course, my patented and standard response to that is it's not about criminal activity. It never has been. It's not about saving lives.
Their response to that, and it's an actual response that they use, is the laws that we got passed weren't good enough. We need better, more. And they've said it over and over and over again.
Yeah, even in Illinois, where they have like almost all the frickin' laws they want, it still doesn't work. I mean, but again, they still use that argument because it leads them to where they really want to go, and that
is total disarmament of the populace.
Total disarmament of the populace. Absolutely right.
Firearms ownership will be essential to the revolution.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, they absolutely know that they have to disarm anyone who would stand against them. That's why they're on that kick. They've said it before. Hey, Warsaw Patriot, I'm going to put my email address out there in the chat. Send me a email from the email you want me to use, and then I will try and edit my contact.
Email to him?
Yeah. Then I will edit my contacts and put that email on there, if that made any sense.
So, do we have anything else interesting or?
No, that was it. That was all I wanted to talk about. Was that little bit right there? I just saw that and it just kind of made my blood pressure rise, and I had to come on and vent about it. Holy cow, man! This same story repeats itself over and over and over and over.
Yep.
See, that's why Squib
nobody realizes it. They're just like, scary.
That's why Squib is supposed to be producing those crystal balls instead of those car parts.
That's right.
We can predict the future.
We need to get our pre-crime unit up and running, man.
And you know what? The even worse part about it is, if you decided to put, if your city, say Baltimore, just make it up, Baltimore's got 500 cops. If you put 5,000 cops on the street, the people would say, "Oh, you're turning us into a police state." And then if you took the 500 off the street, "Oh, where are the cops to protect us?" So no matter what, these people are never going to be. That's what I don't understand about some people. I can get grumpy and upset about stuff and be ticked off, but I'm always happy on the inside anyway. And I don't understand how people go around just angry all day long. Like, you look at the Democrat Party right now, just for an example. Everything that comes out of their mouth is how angry they are all day, every day. And I can't live that way.
It's like, oh yeah, what is the new thing that upsets everybody? Is saying certain words racist? Who knows?
Well, shit, anything and everything triggers these people. Yes, these people, meaning Democrats. Don't nobody get their panties in a wad. Please.
You use panties derogatively.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. Maybe I wear panties and I know how being wadded up gets uncomfortable. I don't know.
Hey, you've seen
know,
movies.
though, if you wore them.
You've seen movies before. You know pantyhose are for men too. All the bank robbers wear them on their face.
You got to be a man to wear tights.
I say I've worn tights, so yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Go ahead. Mainly men wear kilts.
I wore a kilt to a Slayer show, and I got taken out in the pit. My face, unrelated to actually wearing the kilt, I suppose, but it was a really good show.
What show was it again?
Slayer.
Oh, Slayer. Okay.
I was gonna say that sounds like the beginning of a horror story. I wore a kilt to a Slayer show.
I had the foresight to, not go there, because I'm not as young as I used to be, and I can't handle the piss like that. And then every time somebody says that, somebody older than them laughs at them.
That's right.
Because we have no idea. I'm like looking at, a 20-year-old guy, and I'm like, I remember when my joints didn't creak, and you're looking at me and like, I remember when I could eat fat.
Yeah, no shit.
And then some guys looking at you like, I remember when my knees were there.
Yeah. Getting old sucks, dude. Garen Man says you just can't wear a kilt with tights. No, the proper way to wear a kilt is regimental.
I talk about that with my boss a lot, because he's in his 40s as well. And you think about it, my grandfather would be looking at my generation like, what a bunch of sissies. You guys are punks. And then I'm looking down at my boss's son going, man, you guys are a bunch of sissies. What a bunch of punks. And I didn't grow up with the silver spoon in my mouth, but when I think back to what people used to have to do just for regular everyday stuff and how tough men and women were, and our parents' age and our grandparents' age, and we're soft compared to them.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely right.
We'll get softer and softer until the collapse, and then we'll all harden up again, and it'll just continue on forever.
No, the soft will just die off, and the only thing that'll be left will be the hard. Giggity.
Yeah, but then eventually, we'll create we'll create another safe society, and that'll soften people up again. You can, it's a cycle.
And then successive generations will screw that up too. That's if you look at history, that's kind of been the cycle.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, we're the modern Rome.
Yep.
And
you know, all the time.
We are in the middle of the collapse. I really believe it.
But, you know, that's how I feel sometimes. And then I look back and I look at like newspapers from earlier times and stuff. And I'm like, man, everybody always thought the world was about to collapse. So how do you tell when it's actually going to happen, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, my dad thought the Russians were going to kill us all. My granddad thought the Germans were going to kill us all. So on and so forth. And, you know, we think that the Democrats are going to kill us all, or somebody. You know, there's always somebody who's going to kill us all.
I think that our politics right now are so bad that we're heading to we're heading places where we don't want to go. I really believe. You know, it's this is the 1850s all over.
Well, and the more that we
As
let
far as
them,
our level of discourse, anyway.
the more that we let them get away with executive orders and all kinds of other bills and laws that they're passing, the worse it's going to get. You know, I always talk about these lifetime appointments and, you know, no term limits. Well, if we're sitting down and we're going to open up a business, and I say, what's the first rule that we should come up for our business? Instead, I would imagine budget would say, well, let's make the first rule that we can never get fired. You know, we have our jobs forever. And that's exactly what we let the government get away with. And they do it every day. Every single day, they're sitting down there in that cesspool called Washington, trying to figure out a way to enrich themselves and their friends.
I mean, I'm just making cheeseburgers for dinner. This got kind of deep and hard.
Yeah, it did.
But
but that's
Cheeseburgers sound yummy. I love cheeseburgers.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm actually putting like the cheese, mixing the cheese in with the meat, and then I'll just fry the suckers because I am on like no carb thing right now.
Nice.
Yeah, me too, man. It sucks.
You know, it did at first, and it still does, but now the temptations are different. Because like I tried a donut the other day, right? And I love donuts, and I took a bite, and I'm like, oh man, this isn't even good. I don't know why I used to like these, but I have lost 55 pounds, so that's nothing.
Oh, that's great. I'm hoping that works for me. I went to my doctor the other day, and for those that don't know, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and doctor, my A1C is out of freaking control because I'm a dumbass and don't take pills like I'm supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And well, doc said it's time for the insulin, so I started taking that a few days ago, and my sugars have dropped by over 100 points already, so that's a good thing. But I'm also doing the no carb thing. I'm no more than 90 carbs a day, no more than 30 at a time, and it's sucking really bad because I love bread, dude. I love bread.
I know. You know what it is for me is biscuits.
Ugh.
Like guys go to Popeyes and I'm like looking at their biscuits. You guys suck. You know, that's the life we live in, where we don't always get to have all the biscuits we want.
Vandalistic, I have no idea what you're talking about with the intersectionality points. No. I have no idea what the hell that is. So, no, I'm going to go ahead and just flip the coin.
All right, you know what? I'm going to go with yes. All right, take that. I disagree with you. I can't even see the chat. I'm on my phone making dinner.
Andrew Faulkner says biscuits and honey. Yum. Yeah, I know, right? Yep.
Right.
But I can't enjoy any of those anymore. And that's okay, I guess.
Like a biscuit is my entire day's allotment of carbs.
I love fried potatoes, man, and I can't have them no more than that. I mean, because of course they're nothing but carbohydrates, and that sucks bad.
Yeah, I do like that. There's no limit on pork rinds. That's nice.
Oh yeah, that's good. I saw a recipe for meatloaf. Yeah, we're turning into food chat. Sorry. Saw a recipe for meatloaf that instead of putting breadcrumbs in it, you crush up pork rinds.
Yeah, I made that. It is delicious.
Is it? I was hoping it
so
was
good.
because I'm going to try it.
Check out the Poor Conservatives channel. He does a lot of cooking stuff. And like healthy type of food stuff too.
Yeah, I'm actually going to have to start watching channels like that now. Because,
Well, you guys are on the no carbs, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
He did
Anyway.
His last video is a shrimp scampi that he makes. And I don't know if you guys are into shrimp or if that's part of your diets or not, but it looked like a pretty good dish.
Vandalistica, I assume, is asking about the meatloaf, asking wouldn't it lose all the texture? I don't know yet.
No.
How does that work?
Well, the egg acts as the binder, and it catches all that meat. Gets around like the pork rind, so they actually retain some of the crunch through cooking it, and they don't get all soggy. The next day, it's a bit soggier, but
Does it taste? Does it taste like pork rinds? Not the pork rinds. Not that it tastes like pork rinds is bad, but
it doesn't taste like pork rinds. It tastes like slightly porkier meatloaf.
The Poor Conservative says, take out the linguine. I guess that's for your carbs or whatever. In his shrimp scampi video.
I know I feel like I've fallen to a new low. I'm going to be ordering a spiralizer on payday so I can make vegetable noodles. I feel like I should turn in my man card or something.
Dude, you get bored of eating zucchini, in just the same ways. You gotta change it up.
Yeah. Dude, I'm already getting tired of cauliflower, and I love that stuff.
Welcome to the later parts of your life where all the carbs you used to enjoy are replaced by cauliflower.
Well, what about like breakfast cereal?
Nope.
No.
Not like the candy stuff, but like just like plain
those are
flakes.
grains. No cereal grains at all.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's carbohydrates, dude.
Right. I was
bad.
You can eat a bowl
Bacon
of cereal.
Good.
By the time you're finished it, you're hungry again. But I didn't know if that could be like a.
Yeah, no. Instead of that, I just eat like a ton of pork rinds and beef jerky and bacon. I'm actually encouraged to put butter on my bacon so I can reach my fat goals.
Yeah. Are you doing a keto diet or just a low carb?
Keto.
Well, yeah. I'm not that I'm allowing myself to have some, like I since I've started reading labels, I discovered that 2 slices of bread has 24 grams of carbohydrates in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll eat like a cheeseburger with a bun or something because I'm allowed 30 carbs at a sitting 3 times a day. So yeah, I'm not going full keto, but I've cut the carbs down drastically from eating a big bowl of frickin' macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. I used to be at the point where I could just, shovel the entire box of macaroni and cheese down. But yeah.
Poor Conservative says budget's going Atkins style. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's exactly what my doctor said. It's like an old school Atkins diet.
Now, as far as the Atkins type of diets where you guys cut out your carbohydrates, is it the carbohydrate that is causing you to have health conditions, or like what is it about that specific thing? Like, couldn't you just eat less, like have smaller meals, or is it like actually carbohydrate that is what causes
I can't speak for Matt, but for me, it's being a fat, lazy slob that that's the health condition that caused the diabetes that causes the the carbohydrates to be a problem, because the carbohydrates get broken down into sugar, and for me, excess sugar in the blood is bad because I'm a diabetic and I'm not using my sugar properly. However, that will fade once I drop some weight and after I get my sugars under control. And if I can commit to having this lifestyle of, because it's not really a diet for me anymore, it's going to have to be a lifestyle change of committing to being low carbs and eating right and whatnot. Now, see, Garrett, man, that shit's wrong. He's out there talking fresh homemade bread, still
Uh,
warm with real butter. Dude, I love. There are a few things I love more than that. Oh, you
Dude,
suck.
every morning I wake up and I look over at the bread maker in the corner of my room and I'm like, you little bastard.
I know, right?
that's the answer
You're
that I was
existing at
looking
me.
for. I'm sorry, 50. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, dude, that's fine. I'm saying nonsense about food.
Yeah,
For me,
Evangelistica
for-
says diabetes is an actual first world problem. Yeah, because they don't have it anywhere else.
Well, and that's kind of the answer that I was looking for, because I didn't want to be completely ignorant about it and say, like, are you allergic to that? But that's in my mind. I was thinking, like, along with an allergy. But the way you summed it up, their budget makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Hey, Warsaw, looks like we got the email thing figured out.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. Now, you
What's
were
up,
saying
man?
something,
Warsaw?
Matt?
yeah, the reason I'm doing the
You're breaking up, dude. You're muted.
am I still okay? I can get a lot more carb intake or a lot more food intake and still lose weight by doing the low carbs and high fat. And I actually enjoy the eating most of the time. Because, like I said, I put butter on bacon. It's delightful. And so I can eat the amount I like and still lose weight with just moderate exercise. So that's why I'm doing it.
I think
All right, guys,
long run, I'll be happier with it, but it just sucks now
It
while
has
I'm
been
trying to
delightful
get
talking
used
to
to
you.
it.
I got to get.
Go ahead. All right. Well, hey, thanks for
Have a good
coming
night.
by,
Thanks
man.
for
I
having me.
appreciate it. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
The poor conservative says Dreamfields. If you like pasta, Dreamfields is great and only 5 grams of carbs per serving. I'm gonna have to look that up right now because I loves me some pasta. I loves me the fried potatoes, but there's not gonna be any substitute for that. If I want mashed potatoes, I'm just gonna have to have mashed cauliflower instead, I guess. At least I can eat as much meat as I want, though. That's a good thing.
Now, don't you have to be worried? Like, you can't just start stuffing meat in your face, too, because you can get, like, protein poisoning or whatever from that.
You have to balance it out with vegetables and stuff too, but you have to be careful which vegetables you have. Like, for instance, potatoes, right out. Carrots, pretty much right out. Any of the root vegetables, really. Beans, yeah, forget about that unless it's green beans, but like kidney beans, northern beans, lima beans, all that stuff has a ton of carbs in it, so I have to cut that out. But I can have, your basic rabbit food, cabbage, lettuce, kale, bok choy, whatever the hell that is, celery, etc., etc. All the stuff that's green and leafy and full of fiber, I can have that. And you can and I can have the other stuff just in very small amounts. Again, up to 30 grams of carbohydrates per sitting, no more than 3 times a day. It's kind of difficult for me because I look at my cupboard right now and it's packed full of carbs. Rice and pastas and freaking hamburger helper and tuna helper and bread mixes and outright bread and different grains and cereals and all that crap that's just nothing but carbohydrates.
Well, maybe you could talk a little bit about how to budget your grocery list with your family. That way if you got kids or if it's just your wife or if you got your nephew and niece stay with you or whatever your living situation might be, and one or more people are either on a diet or have special eating needs. Do you
Well,
just
that'll have to be a future video because I haven't made it to the store yet.
right? Okay,
Payday's Wednesday.
because
That's when I'm gonna have to go.
you figure do you want to say you're allergic to Captain Crunch? Well, does that mean nobody in the house gets to have Captain Crunch because you don't, or do you work it out? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I'm not sure how that's gonna go. You know, I have to figure that one out yet, because I know that the wife and my son and that are like, dude, I don't want to give this crap up. So,
Yeah.
and I'm faced with the decision of saying, screw you guys, you're eating what I'm eating because I'm only making one meal, or you know, make a meal for everybody else and then make my meal. I was gonna say make the garbage I have to eat, but
Well, you hear that a lot. Like if your boyfriend is vegetarian, then you just became vegetarian, or if your girlfriend is vegetarian, well, you just became vegetarian, kind of
yeah.
stuff.
But the Dreamfields pasta doesn't look like it's too horribly expensive. Well, it's about 2.5 times the cost of normal. I'm just looking at the elbow macaroni for the Dreamfields pasta he was talking about. It's like $2.59 for a 13.25 ounce box, where I'm paying like around $1 for a pound of regular macaroni. So it's not too horrible, but it's not something that I would buy for everybody. So I guess if I wanted to make macaroni and cheese, I'd make everybody else the regular stuff, and I would just eat that. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting going to the grocery store trying to actually shop this stuff. Yeah, maybe I will do a video on that. I don't know if anybody will give a damn, but hell, maybe.
Yeah, I'll watch. Hey, Warsaw, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you also out in the chat still?
Yeah, just saying hi to one of my friends.
Okay, I just remember you had been talking before about people using your name, and I wanted to make sure that because it doesn't have the WP in front, I wanted to make sure that wasn't somebody that's not supposed to be using that name.
If there's no WP, then that's not me, basically.
Well, it says Warsaw Patriot right here. And
Yeah, guy talking about macaroni. Yes, this started out as a stream about the Aurora shooting, and it devolved into food chat. So, are you the fake Warsaw Patriot or the real Warsaw Patriot?
I'm the real. I changed my name. I can't change it back because of YouTube's policies, so I can't do anything about it.
So this guy out here as Warsaw Patriot, just straight up, that's another Warsaw Patriot.
Yeah, and he's a fake, and he's a troll. He's been ruining my reputation and all that, and thinks it's funny.
Oh.
I've been putting up with it for 4 months now already.
He hasn't said anything inappropriate so far.
Well, still, I've been dealing with him with other channels and all that, and just it's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Well, glad I got to tell you that he's out here, so I'll keep an eye on him. If he starts being a jerk, I'll let you know.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as he's not being a knucklehead, okay. But if he starts being a knucklehead, bye-bye. We're pretty much, yeah. Garen Man says alcohol is a carb. Damn it. Yeah, I know, right?
Well,
That sucks.
I saw that up somebody else. I think it was Tara Smith. Yeah, Tara Smith posted something about different types of booze. Isn't all that real high in sugar too?
Yeah. Yeah, alcohols are real high in sugar. Well, it depends on what it is. Obviously, the higher the proof, the less sugar there is. But generally, unless they mix it with something sweet. But yeah, also particularly if you take insulin or other diabetic medications, alcohol is really bad for you anyway, because that could cause your sugar to drop dramatically, like into the really bad range. Warsaw Patriot II says, asked if someone's on a diet. Yeah, I got to talking about how we got to talk about eating low carb and whatnot, and why.
Well, I mean, that could also all that stuff really relates back to Travis P. Levin's prep show, Rick's Life as I See It's prep show, and all the other prep shows. Is you got to be aware of your diet too.
Yeah.
You know, if something goes down and you can't, if you have to leave the safety of your house, or you're kind of like trapped in the safety of your house, eventually, you got to make sure that you keep up with whatever dietary needs you need as well.
Too Hottie says it metabolizes as sugar in your body. You must be talking about alcohol. Yeah, it's not good. And you're right. And maybe that's something I have to do too. This is definitely going to have an impact on my preps as I look at all the rice and beans and what I have piled up in my cave here, and it's like shit. I can't eat that now. But then again, I imagine that in a situation where I would need to dip into that stuff, eating it all would be what I'm worried about, let alone what I'm eating. I think that in a situation where you would need to dig into your preps, you would, I don't think weight gain would be a problem. I imagine. Weston Probst says, I try to follow a keto type diet. I'm not super strict, but when I can, I try to make healthier choices. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Jet001 says, is drinking a ton of Heineken bad? Oh, I don't know. It depends. If you're a diabetic, yeah, probably not. Probably not a good idea. If you're not a diabetic, well, it depends on how much you're drinking as to whether it's a good idea or not. Vandalistica says he has a simple diet. He eats food. That's good. All right. Well, we've went pretty far afield. Maybe I'll go through and strip this out into two different. Maybe I'll just be lazy and just leave it all go, and people can get the extra special food chat when they chime into this one. So I don't know. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Just want to thank you guys for coming by and spending these minutes listening to us babble on about diet and carbohydrates and crap. So after we talked about the actual topic. So thanks for coming by, folks. You guys have a good one, and I will I'll see you guys on Friday, unless something else irks me at some other point in the week. Have a good one.